Councilmember Harold.
Okay. Looking at today's legislation, I see we're repealing, of course, Ordinance 122492. In that ordinance, there is significant language devoted to the storm, but we're terminating the lease with the Sonics, but in that same lease, we're not terminating or modifying the lease with the storm, correct? None of this affects that.
It's a separate
That's
lease.
correct.
It's a separate lease, okay, so.
But weren't they owned by the same organization? So terminating the lease with them, would that have any effect on the storm?
Well, what I know is that the storm does have a separate lease, which they are negotiating now, and that needs to be completed by September. So it's a separate lease for Key Arena.
There is no lease in place for the storm now. If this is separate.
No, there is a lease in place for the storm, but it's not part of this lease.
We have a signed lease.
I believe so, because they are negotiating, they're in the process of negotiating a lease.
Okay, are there any other comments?
No. Again, I'm not going to be, I'd look back, I've been trying, there's not a copy of the lease anywhere around, so I went back and looked at the ordinance, the original ordinance, which apparently, and that was the 122492 that we're repealing. In that ordinance, there's considerable language devoted to the storm, so I have to assume that this lease that we're terminating, no one has a copy of that in front of them, apparently. So what I'm hearing then is that lease specifically applies to the Sonics. That's a separate lease, and we're repealing the ordinance that does contain storm language in there, but this isn't a problem, what I'm hearing.
It's my understanding that the original lease was only with the Sonics, that the storm were added later to that lease when the storm were created, and that what we're repealing is the agreement with the football club that actually at one time owned both of those, but we have a separate lease now with the storm because it is under different ownership. Okay, please call the roll on the passage of the bill.
Licata.
Aye.
McIver.
Aye.
Rasmussen.
Aye.
Burgess.
Aye.
Drago.
Aye.
Godden.
Aye.
Harrell.
I need a moment. Aye.
President Conlon.
Aye.
8 in favor, none opposed.
The bill passes and the chair will sign it.
Report of the full council, item number 18, Council Bill 116268, relating to the premises use and occupancy agreement between the City of Seattle and the Professional Basketball Club, LLC, approving termination of the agreement in accordance with the Professional Basketball Club, LLC, and City of Seattle Settlement Agreement Memorandum of Understanding, and repealing ordinance number 122492.
I think he's got a real clear understanding of all the issues and a real good grasp of all the issues